Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I am collabing with my best friend and sister, Steph. Her channel name is Not Your Basic Steph, and of course, I will have her channel linked in my description box. Steph and I have done several collabs together. I'm sure we will continue to do many more collabs together, but we just hadn't done one in a while, and Steph's like, let's get one planned. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And because Halloween is coming up, it's spooky season right now, we thought we would look through our collections and find a palette that we have in common that would fit that theme. And we do have the Makeup by Lisa Raven's Castle palette. Now, Makeup by Lisa is a UK indie brand that I actually discovered through Steph. Love the products that I have from this brand thus far. I have used this before on my channel, but it's been a while since I've used it. So I was really happy when she suggested that we do a collab using this palette. Beautiful, cool toned color story here. Love it. These two shades right here are more like topper shimmer shades, some taupey shades, this beautiful black matte, kind of silvery. This is a really pretty shade as well. That's a very nice white matte. But I think what I want to do today is focus on a couple shades I have not used yet. This one here is called Spells. Haven't used that. And I don't think I've used much of this. This one's called Evil, and then we have Bad Blood. I think I might use that today. This one is called Grot Bags or Groat Bags, and she explained what that's from. I think it's from a UK show, I think. I don't remember now. I can't believe I can't remember that. And I'm also going to use this one here called Raven. I just think it's so beautiful. And the last time I used it, everything worked really well. I think I've used this. This will be my 4th time using this palette. So don't have a ton of experience with it, but I have enough to know that I love the palette. And of course, I came up with 10 questions. Yeah, 10 questions for us to answer about scary stuff. What scares us, scary movies. You know, you'll see as I answer the questions, but just kind of scary, spooky questions. And of course, my brows are done and both eyelids are primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. All right, so let's get into this palette. And I think what I'll do is start off with the shade here called Raven and put that in my transition areas. And of course, I'm going to start answering the questions. And I also want to mention that Steph's look is going to be absolutely extraordinary. She showed me a sketch of what the eye look's going to look like, and get ready, hold on to your pants because she's going to blow them off you. All right, the first question is, what is your favorite scary movie? And I've mentioned multiple times on my channel that Silence of the Lambs is my favorite scary movie. Although, you know, well, I mean, is it considered a horror film? I don't know. I do think like if you went to the video store, it would probably be in the horror section. But I see that more as like a suspense thriller type movie. So if we're talking like super gory horror movie, I would say Nightmare on Elm Street. I did kind of have a weird obsession with Freddy Krueger when I was in high school. I know, very strange. I had this huge cardboard cutout of him. He was wearing a tux. And he had his gloved hand up with his knife fingers, this big smile on his face, and it said, "Wanna dance?" in this big like bubble thing over his head. Oh, my mom hated that. She was so glad when I moved out and took that with me. And I don't remember what happened to that cardboard cutout. I know I did take it to college with me, but it's long gone now. I also really like the movie Jeepers Creepers. That's another really good like horror, gory, scary movie. Scared the crap out of me the first time I watched it. I mean, now it doesn't scare me. I mean, most the time horror movies don't really scare me anymore just because I've watched so many of them. But a movie that totally freaked me out was a movie called Lovely Molly. And I don't know where you can find that. I've tried to find it so that my husband and I can watch it together because he's never seen it. And I always talk about how it was the scariest movie I've ever seen, but I just can't find it anywhere. So, but I've watched Silence of the Lambs. Oh, I don't even know how many times. I would say 50, maybe 100. I don't know. I've watched it so many times. I can basically quote the whole thing from beginning to end. I love Anthony Hopkins. He is my favorite actor. And I just think all of that movie is just so well done. I mean, if you're not a scary movie fan, you wouldn't feel that way. But I don't know. I just think the acting, the plot, the intenseness of it, everything about it. I just think it's a really good, really well done scary movie. The next question is, do you jump scare easily? Yes, I do. And I also have a fascination with watching other people get jump scared, which I know that's kind of weird. But I love like the reels on Instagram or the shorts on YouTube where they have a compilation of people being jump scared. I'm like, yes, I love it. I just think it's so funny. And when my kids lived in this house, we had like a jump scare contest basically, because they loved to scare me. They just thought that was so funny. And so when they would do it, I would have to get them back every time. Like, I don't quit. When it comes to something like that, if you're gonna dare me or try to like challenge me to something, I am all over it. I think that blended out very nicely. I love that shade, that taupey shade. It's so nice. So now I'm gonna go into grot bags or groat bags. I wish I could remember how to say that. This black matte, and put it in my outer V. So a little story I have about our jump scare contests here that we used to have in this house with my children. It was during the winter time. And my son's really close friend was living with us for a few weeks because they lived just like the block behind us. And their house, the pipes had frozen, and so it had flooded. The plumbing in these houses it's not good. I live in like a row house, like there's like 4 blocks of houses that are all right next to each other, and they all look exactly the same. And, you know, when they made the houses, they just kind of cut some corners. So, you know, the plumbing, and it's a little drafty, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, his friend was living here with us for a few weeks until they could, he and his mom could find like a different rental. And they thought it was just the funniest thing in the world to scare the crap out of me as often as they possibly could. So, and also my daughter, like the two of them were just scaring both of us half out of our wits. So I get Sydney and I make this plan, and I'm like, we're getting these two suckers, we're getting them. So I had her take the scary clown mask that we have, and I took the Michael Myers mask that we have, which that's from the movie Halloween. And I had Sydney go outside, unbeknownst to them, go outside, go around our little side yard and into the backyard, and she was standing at our back door that leads into the living area. And the boys were both sitting on the couch with the couch turned so that their backs were to the opening of the room, and they were playing Minecraft on TV. Okay. So we have an alarm system in our house, and there are a couple doors that are hot doors, meaning that if you open the door and the alarm's on, the alarm immediately goes off. Okay. And the door that my daughter was at was a hot door. And of course, like I said, the boys have no clue she's outside. So I say loud enough that she can hear me outside, "I'm going to bed, boys. Have a great night. I'm setting the alarm, so don't anybody touch the doors, okay?" Okay. Well, they were like, okay, because they were playing Minecraft. They could have cared less. And I then pretend to walk down the hallway and like I'm going up the stairs, but I just wait on the stairs. And Sydney waited 60 seconds. She opens that back door up with her scary clown mask on, jumps in and is like, "Wah!" And those boys literally jumped over the back of the couch and took off running to come upstairs. And I'm waiting for them on the stairs in my Michael Myers mask. So I was like, "Blah!" when they got to the stairs, and oh boy, scared the crap out of both of them, which they absolutely deserved it. And my son was actually pretty pissed at me. His friend actually thought it was funny. I mean, he got scared, but he thought it was funny. But my son was like, "I can't believe you did that to us. And oh, I'm getting you back." And I'm like, dude, if you want to keep this going, that's fine. I will hire people to come over here and scare you. So if I were you, let's just cut our losses and move on, okay? And I'm telling you right now, the alarm in this house is so loud, so loud. It was like, I'm gonna go back in with this brush and add a little bit back just to blend that out. Number 3, have you ever been through a haunted house and did it scare you? Yes, I have been through a couple of haunted houses actually. We have a amusement park here. Is it called an amusement park? Like a theme park? I don't know. Called Enchanted Forest. And they do have a haunted house there, but it's honestly, it's kind of lame. That place has been around since I think before I was born. I think it was made like in the late 1960s. And it's kind of like a nursery rhyme themed place. And it's so cute. I love it. A lot of people will kind of put it down, but I love it. It's so fun. I could live at the Enchanted Forest. And, you know, most of the props they have there are very old and, you know, they look a little worse for the wear, but I don't care. It just reminds me of my childhood, and it's such a beautiful place to go. So, and there's rides there and stuff, but they do have a haunted house. Been through that a couple times. It does kind of freak me out at first, like right when you first go into it, but none of it's like live action. They're all just like mannequins moving around and going, and then you walk through these hallways where you look into these like windows and there's these different like scary scenes from nursery rhymes, which why do nursery rhymes have to be scary? But a lot of them are. So, you know, it's kind of lame. But we also have had like a haunted corn maze here in town that did get closed down because it was freaking too many people out. I never went through that. My kids did go through it. I just couldn't handle it. And I'll tell you why here in just a minute because I have a story from when I was younger. But yeah, people would dress up as clowns and run around with chainsaws with the chain taken off. I don't know. It just got to, I think it just got to be too much. And so that is no longer around. The corn maze is still there, but they don't do the haunted corn maze anymore. But when I was in the 8th grade, we had this thing called Scream in the Dark, which was at the fire department. They had part of the building at the fire department. That's where you would start going through the haunted stuff. And then they had like these 2 mobile home trailer type things that you would walk through too. Okay, so now I think what I'll do is put spells down here, put bad blood in the middle, and then evil towards the front. So I'm gonna start off with that one right there. So my friends and I went to this place called Scream in the Dark. And they tell you as you start going through the haunted house that there are people in the haunted house that are going to like scare you, kind of like get in your face, and that they will touch you. They're not supposed to grab onto you or pull you or drag you around or anything like that, but they will touch you. And just to be aware of that. And I'm thinking, okay. And I'm freaked out to go inside. I don't know. It just was not right for me to go into this place. It just never was right, ever. So you start off going through, of course, and there was like this drawbridge type thing, or not drawbridge, like rope bridge. There was like these ropes and then these slats of wood that you walked across, and it was all like teetery, and it's like this far off the ground, but you know, you're in the dark, so you have no really frame of reference for that. And while you're walking across this rope bridge, there are people that are on their knees, like high school kids, college age kids, on their knees, reaching up and grabbing at you and like pawing at you. Now this is like the first minute into the haunted house, right? Or into Scream in the Dark. And this guy grabbed he grabbed my shirt, like kind of pulled my arm, and I just cold cocked him right in the face. I just went wham and punched him right in the face. Gave him a bloody nose, and I was asked to leave. I was immediately escorted. The lights flipped on, they grabbed me and pulled me out. It's like, whoops. But, you know, in my defense, it scared the crap out of me. And I didn't think about it. I didn't think, like, I'm going to punch this guy in the face. I just punched him in the face. Number 4, in your opinion, what is the scariest animal? Scariest animal? Well, you know, living in Oregon, we do have areas that have cougars, which that scares the crap out of me. My husband and I like to go for walks on the weekends and the evenings, and there's always deer like out in this field that we walk by, and I usually always think it's a cougar. I'm like, is that a cougar? He's like, no, they're deer. But I always think it's cougar. So I think cougars are kind of scary. They're beautiful animals, but I wouldn't want to run across one of them. Absolutely not. I'm going to take this brush and just kind of chill that out a little bit. I always do that. I don't know why, but I do. And then over here too. Really big dogs scare me too. I just don't really like huge dogs, like Great Danes or like Mastiffs or whatever. Kind of freak me out. I'm going to go into bad blood now and put that right next to the spell shade. I mean, I wouldn't want to be left alone with like a tiger or a lion or a crocodile or an alligator, you know, anything with big teeth and a big mouth. It doesn't sound very exciting. So, you know, the scariest animal though, I mean, I guess I'm just going to have to go with a cougar. I don't know, that would terrify me. And that's a real possibility here in Oregon, that you could, if you're, you know, in certain areas, you could run across a cougar. People have, and no thanks. Number 5, what horror film character is the scariest? A Hannibal Lecter, but I kind of like him too. That's really weird, but I do kind of like him. Freddy Krueger, I would say, is the scariest. I just, you know, like, he comes to you in your dreams. That's pretty freaky. And like I said, I've watched that movie a million times, especially when I was a kid. Every time I'd have a slumber party or a sleepover, we would always rent Nightmare on Elm Street and scare the crap out of ourselves. Number 6, what's the scariest book you've ever read? The scariest book I've ever read. Oh, I mean, I've read a lot of Stephen King novels, and those usually scare me. I'm trying to think of the scariest one. It was pretty scary. And of course, I've watched that movie, and that scared the crap out of me too. I mean, you know, it did and it didn't. I mean, if I'd watched it when I was younger, it would have freaked me out. But the clown Pennywise, ooh. You know what? That might be the scariest horror film character, is Pennywise. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, he might give Freddy Krueger a run for his money. I also used to read books by an author named Mo Hayder, a British author who apparently has passed away, which just total heartbreaker because she was such a good author. Oh, such a good author. And she has some pretty scary books that I've read. Oh, wait. No. I know. Hold on. I'll get there. Now I'm going to go into this shade here called Evil and put that towards the front. I know now. I remember now what the scariest book is. It's Red Dragon. It's the first book in the Silence of the Lambs series, because that's a book as well. And I will never forget, I was in college, and I think it was during summer break. And I was back home living with my mom and dad, and they had gone out of town. They'd gone to Puerto Vallarta for a trip for my dad's work. And I was reading Red Dragon. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to, lay on the couch and while they're gone and read this book, and it'll be wonderful. And I remember it got me so scared that I could not go to sleep until it was light outside. So I literally sat on the couch all night, just staring around me and looking out the window and like pacing around, and so stupid. And then reading more and then stopping and, I gotta stop. I gotta go to bed. And then I couldn't sleep. So yeah, that was the scariest book I've ever read, was Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. Like I said, it's the first in the Silence of the Lambs series. There's Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and then Hannibal. Number 7, what is an irrational fear that you have? I'm really afraid of heights, like ridiculously so. Sometimes I can't even go up escalators. Now, that sounds like fun, huh? But yeah, heights scare me. There's no way I could ever like do anything like skydiving, bungee jumping. No way. Like literally, I'm not kidding. Like when I go up an escalator, sometimes I just want to sit down because I just start thinking I feel like my feet are going to let loose of the ground and I'm going to tumble to my doom. It just scares me. I don't know why. I'm going to go back in with my finger with bad blood, just add a little bit more of that in. Number 8, what's the scariest Halloween costume you've ever seen? I remember when I was, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there, we'd gone trick-or-treating, and there was this kind of spooky house at the end of the street where I lived. And I knew the girl that lived there. I was friends with her, but it was an older house, and it just scared me. And I remember we went to trick-or-treat there, and when I knocked on the door and the door opened, her dad, my friend's dad, was in this cardboard box with just his head sticking out, and there was like a purple like tablecloth type thing over the box. And his face was half white and half black, and he had like bright red lipstick on. And I don't know, that for whatever reason, I'm gonna go into spells and just put a little bit of this down. That scared me so badly. Like I ran away from the door screaming. And he was like, honey, it's just me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. But yeah, I will never forget that. I don't know. That just scared me so bad to see him in that box with his head sticking out. I don't know. Number 9, do you believe in ghosts and other supernatural beings? And I don't know. I don't know if I believe in ghosts and other supernatural beings. I've never seen a ghost. I've watched a lot of ghost story type documentaries, and I know people that have sworn they've seen ghosts. My mom was one of those people, and my mom is not a person that would really ever believe in ghosts. I'm going to go back into drop bags just to add a little bit of this back. But I personally, I just don't think I believe in ghosts. I don't know. I don't really ever know how to answer that question, because I don't think it's impossible that ghosts could exist. I just have never really had any experiences with ghosts. Now watch, there's a ghost standing right behind me. The last question number 10 is, what is something that most people are scared of, but you are not? I'm not scared of spiders. I'm not scared of spiders at all. I mean, if they were like huge, I'd be a little bit wigged out by it or freaked out by it, but I will smash them. I know I should probably just take them outside. My husband, if he's home, he will just grab them and take them outside, but I smash them. I know, it's not very nice. But I don't know. I feel like my home has been invaded. I'm like, I didn't ask you to come in here, so whack with my shoe. Not very nice. And I also used to be terrified of snakes. Terrified. Ask Steph, because I sent her a video one time of a garter snake that we found in our backyard. It was underneath this pot, like a pot full of tomatoes. And my husband lifted up the pot and he's showed me the snake, and I was filming it for Steph. He's like, come out here, there's this garter snake. You need to film it and send it to Steph. Because she has snakes. I don't know if you're aware, but she has a lot of snakes. And when he lifted up the pot, I was like, blah, and ran back in the house or whatever. And Steph thought that was hilarious. But she has really made me see that snakes are really beautiful creatures, really truthfully. And she's got some beautiful snakes. And just seeing her and her daughter and her boyfriend like handle the snakes and stuff when we've been on video calls, it's calmed me down. You know, I can see them now and not panic. So that's good. But yeah, there have been times in my life where I've seen snakes and totally freaked out. Not to say that I wouldn't if I saw one today. Like if I leave to go to work and a snake happens to slither across the front walkway, I probably will scream. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with this look. I'm gonna clean up both under eye areas here, add the final touches, and I'll come back. This is the finished look, and I really like how it turned out. I love the eyeshadow palette. I love it. And I'm so happy that Steph turned me on to Makeup by Lisa. Such an amazing UK indie brand. I will link their website in my description box. If you guys have yet to go check out the brand, highly recommend doing so. Lisa creates absolutely beautiful products and her customer service is impeccable. I will show you the palette again, talk to you about it, but let me show you just a few things I put on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I used an LA Girl Metal Liquid Lipstick in the shade, it says GML 865. I don't know if that's the shade or the lot or the batch it came out of, I don't know. But Julia sent this to me, my dear friend, and I love it. It lasts really well throughout the day. It doesn't feel heavy or noticeable really on the lips, and it's got that really cool metallic sheen to it. And then I grabbed this for my lower water lines. This is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Piggy Bank. Because I chose that lippy, I just thought a purple lower waterline would go well, and I love these. And then for my upper lid liner, I used one. This is the brand Novo. I got this in some PR from Temu. It's just a really affordable but very well working felt tip liner in black. Love it. And then for my mascara, I did use the Nobu Cosmetics Nobu Lash Mascara. Again, I'm obsessed. And also for my highlighter, I used one that Steph sent to me. This is from Josh Cosmetics. This is the pressed highlighter in Luna. And I believe this is another UK indie brand. And this is such a beautiful dynamic highlighter. A little bit of this goes a long way. Like if I really went in hard with this, you could see me from outer space. Absolutely. Gorgeous formula, really fun. So now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, the Raven's Castle palette from Makeup by Lisa that we used in our collab video today. Cute packaging. I don't really think I talked much about the packaging at the beginning. Very spooky and mysterious and eerie. I love it. And I just love cool toned eyeshadows. This is such a beautiful cool toned color story. Everything I used in this look today, I just loved. I loved all three shimmers I used. I loved the mattes that I used. I used these two on my lower lash lines. I actually used this shade right here called Hunter's Moon as my inner corner shade. These two are more toppery type shimmers, but work so beautifully in like the inner corner and also like under your brow. I should have done that, but I didn't. I did use a shade to kind of take the edge of that down a little bit more, this shade called White Witch, but I love it. I love everything about it. I love the formula, the blendability, the textures, just wonderful palette and just an amazing brand. I really do. I really recommend. If you guys are interested, go check out the brand. You'll be happy. And I cannot wait to watch Steph's video and see her look come together. I know her look is going to be absolutely spectacular. And also to listen to the answers to the questions that I came up with. I love to do that. I love to come up with questions about anything. I do it all the time. People that collab with me, I think, are like, okay, can we do something different besides answering questions? And I'm like, can't we just please answer the questions? And like I said at the very beginning, I will have Steph's channel linked in my description box. Go check her out, subscribe to her, show her a ton of love and support. You are going to think she is one of the most, if not the most, amazing creators here on this platform. She does such dynamic, beautiful, amazing looks. Her talent is off the charts, and she is so very precious to me. She is my best friend. She is my sister. We are convinced that we were separated at birth, just different years and in different countries, but that's what we're sticking with. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. Love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy. I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.